Hey everyone, welcome back to another 31-minute podcast. Jordan.
Good morning.
Jackson.
Good morning.
Hello. Jackson's out of bed early today.
Yep.
You were here ready to go.
Yep. Ready to go.
And Jordan, you're revved up. Not as revved up as usual. You're a little bit like semi-puttering this morning.
I was thinking this morning when I woke up. I feel I'm just
Overwhelmed?
yeah.
Yep. Oh, well.
It's fine.
Yeah. It's going to... You are a little bit soft, I must say.
I'm not
You
soft
are.
at all.
You're a little bit soft.
I'm not.
Like yesterday
I
we
was
were
built
talking
for
about,
war.
so we've had an ongoing argument for a long time about, so we've got different lights going on today, because in the other podcast, because there's nothing behind me, it looks like I'm a ghost. Like, it does a little bit. Jordan's like fully lighted up, and mine you can hardly see, we've got some new lights going on. But we've had an ongoing argument going on for a while about me teaching you the value of prospecting, and because you I don't know why, but it's like you think you're a bit like Donald Trump, where you can just sit in an office and order people around and then build buildings without going anywhere. And anyway, you one day you finally, and I'm like, Jordan, you've got to get out there and pound the pavement, mate, and build your career. And you're like, yeah. And you never used to do it. You used to avoid it at all costs and drive me crazy. But then you started to really do it. But then yesterday you said, Matt, I just like the low-hanging fruit. I don't really like prospecting and building the high, and going and growing the high-hanging fruit. And it's like, oh, here we go again. What are you laughing at?
How'd that go down?
I said it feels like nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Because when I'm low-hanging fruit, I'm always listing stuff, putting deals together. Like it feels like there's always stuff happening.
I actually don't think you put as many deals together as you think you do. like you got to build your business for tomorrow. That's the most thing. Like you can be busy. I think you enjoy the busyness.
Yeah.
I think you think you're putting thousands of deals together every month, but it's like you're a part of the washing machine of energy, which you like. But that's what most agents do. They don't prospect enough. They don't make it their thing and build the business for the next six months or year or 10 years.
In my defense, it's been 6 months and I've been doing your exact way.
Well, here we go.
I have.
What's
I
your
know, send
excuse
it
now?
in.
You and your excuses.
There is no excuse.
Yeah, but
at
that's
all.
fine. That's 6 months. We've been together like 7 years.
Yeah, I know.
It's so annoying. Anyway, we're getting there. So let's get straight into it. Are you all right now?
Yeah.
Or not? You look like you're going to cry.
No, I'm all
You
good.
sure?
Yeah,
Jackson? Are you overwhelmed, Jordan? Or
I'm fine.
okay.
Yeah,
I know you're not.
I'm really
I can
good.
feel it.
Getting some questions?
Questions, Jacko?
It's like hot in here today.
It is hot.
Do you want to open the doors?
No.
No,
It's hot outside. It's about 35 outside.
It's warm today.
All right, well, so before Jackson does that, we've got a whole lot of questions. We've got heaps. And some of them, do you want to do a real estate podcast on a different day? Do you think so?
Yep.
Because I don't think half the audience would really like the real estate questions, but we could do one this week. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, let's get into it.
What's your thoughts on whey protein from Jamie?
I don't know anything about it.
Whey protein. Yeah, I like it. It makes me bloated though. I've actually, since I've been training with Metz in Sydney, he's changed a whole lot of things. I used to think protein shakes were good, but they're actually not. They're just a whole lot of rubbish. Nothing beats real food. Nutrition is something I'm focusing on hugely at the moment because, it's really funny. You know how many messages I get on TikTok as well? Oh, so much testosterone. Oh, wah, like all this stuff, right? Yes, I take testosterone. Of course I do. And then it's, other like things like stenazole and mastrone and things like this, right? But without nutrition, you will look like rubbish. Nutrition is that hard, it's not funny. Like to eat really well. Like you've lost a bit of weight recently. Like to meal prep, to know what to eat, to know when to eat, to know how much to eat. I reckon that's half the battle, maybe more. Metz says all the time, the body's one in the kitchen. You can take all the I get so I'm so over people when they say, oh, it's just like that's some secret thing. I don't write back to them, do you take Viagra? Like get your little willy going. But it's like, but it's sort of like testosterone will only do what you like. You got to go train like a machine, and then got to eat like phenomenon. Like otherwise, we were just talking about it before you got here, George, Jackson and I. Like Jackson's been saying that he's been wanting to bulk, but he feels terrible now. Like eat lots and lots of calories. It's such a fine line between feeling good and looking good or going over. Like
So do people bulk to grow their body and then they
And then
lose
cut?
weight to like
Yeah,
shape
like
it again?
I just spent 3 months cutting. I got down from 94 kilos to 88 and I felt great. I'm like, yeah, this is like, I look sick, take the shirt off. And now it's like, it's been 2 weeks and I've just been eating like a maniac. And I'm like, oh, I've had like 3 protein shakes in a day, like the protein powder. I just feel bloated. I feel strong, but just gross. Like I just feel like the last 3 months of work or 4 months of work of cutting that I put on is just gone.
Yeah. So to answer that question, protein shakes, I used to have like 5 a day. Now I have 1, and I only have 1 scoop. I used to have 2 or 3 scoops in there.
Is that what Matt said?
Yeah. So I have one scoop somewhere in the day, or I may have another one at night, maybe, but not often. So, and I have a few cashews and some peanut butter with it. But my whole goal is to stay relatively lean, but slowly put on muscle, slowly, over time. And like it could take 1, 2, 3, 5 years, whatever. But it is the hardest thing to do. And I want to keep my face fatter, not thinner. Because you know when you see, like you've seen Chris Bumstead when he like goes for a comp and he looks so drained, like it's very difficult. So nutrition is everything. Yeah, it's a whole journey I'm on at the moment. Gut health, nutrition.
Because Matt says that it's better to get like protein from natural sources like eggs and nuts and things like that rather than just with the
Well, anything
protein.
that can sit in a bucket for a year and you can just scoop it out and eat it, it's not great. Yeah. Next question.
What do you think is your life's purpose now?
What's yours, Jordan?
I'm just starting my life. I've got a long way to go.
What's yours? Not be overwhelmed and go for the high hanging fruit.
I'm not overwhelmed.
No, I know. Your energy's not the same today.
Yeah,
You got to warm up a little bit.
I've just got a lot on my mind today.
I can tell,
Yeah.
Jordan. I know you better than anyone apart from your mum. I know you better than anyone. I can tell when you walked in. It's like we'll have a little therapy session later, you and me, and we'll cuddle it out.
I was on the phone to Francesca in the car on the way over, and I'm like, I can see a few issues that are going to happen today through the day because I just tried to make things all these. You know how you say don't put too many appointments into the day? I did today. And I woke up this morning with anxiety straight
You don't
away.
listen. I can tell because when you sat down, you took about 8.5 minutes to straighten your phone next to that thing. You're like mucking around with it, trying to make your OCD's kicked in that hard. I can see it. It's like you don't know I notice these things, but I'm like he's really anxiety filled today.
It'll all be fine. My life's purpose is to list and sell properties and just do a good job at it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Keep my family happy. Play a bit of golf along the way.
And listen to me sometimes.
Yeah.
What's your prediction for the Australian?
I'll go life purpose. He's probably asking.
Yeah.
You know what I reckon? We were talking about it. We talked about a lot of things today, Jack, but moments in time. So I've literally, like, as I've hit 50, I really see things as moments in time now. Not so much, when I get to here. So like, because it goes, it's so interesting. Like it disappears again. So right now, I'm only focused on the next year or two, and then that's it. Like it's, because I think sometimes we can so miss the moments that we're, like you at 28 now, like what a great time to be alive.
Yeah.
You know, so like you've got to make the most of this between now and 30, whatever, but really like design your life. Because it's sort of like our mate died at 48 the other day, Brent Courtney. 48 dead, boom, gone. My dad died at 47. I know other people that have died like just in their 50s, and I'm like, you really got to make the most of this thing.
Yeah.
And so that's where my head's at now. Like, how do I, that's why I'm so focused on training and work, even with real estate. Like, people must wonder why I just never post real estate, but I feel like I've got nothing to prove in real estate, like not one thing. So for me, a moment in time now is how do I actually reach optimum health? and what other life hacks are out there. So we started having ice baths now, me and Jackson at home, and I've just resisted them forever. But I'm like, okay, well, if people are going on about them and they're so good, maybe I should do that. And I do it at night. And then saunas, men are something like 60% less likely to have a heart attack if you have 4 saunas a week. So I've put that in. Training, nutrition, gut health. I've been hopeless at relationships, so I'm going to try and master that thing. Like have a bit, and it's not enjoyment. Like I'll be really honest, I don't like doing anything apart from what I feel like I need to do. So if I have to go to somewhere where it's like Tara wants to go on a camel ride. Like I have no interest going on a camel ride. I'll probably go with her, but I will. She'll like, whatever. But it's like, I try and do less of those things. I see it a moment in time with her. I don't mean like not do it with her, but what else? That's probably not a great example because Tara's probably listening going, what, you don't want to go on a camel ride with me? It's more like, let's say go to dinner with people I just don't want to go with. Like I just say no now. So I really value the exchange of time and energy now in what you do. Because if you line your life up with things that really interest you and that you're a bit excited about, that's why today, Jordan, I can already see today you've started the day really average. You have. You are that far out of the zone today. It's not funny. But your job now, is to get back in the zone. Who cares if something goes wrong today? It doesn't matter. Because what happens today is irrelevant in 2 years' time. Absolutely irrelevant.
Yeah.
That's why you can't. And the other thing, like my life's purpose now is to just live this life chasing excitement. So when something happens that doesn't work out, I'm probably more resilient today than ever. Like I just literally don't let it come into my world. Francesca gets so bent about things that if someone doesn't want to buy a property or they pull out, I'm like, who cares? Like literally who cares? It means zero. And it's sort of like now if you just follow excitement, next step, or interest, like if you really want to do something, go do that thing. And you watch what happens with your life. You slowly start to get more tuned to things that are going right, feeling good, and you get such momentum that you become unstoppable. I reckon that's my life purpose. Imagine waking up every day and living a life that you just can't wait to spend the day how you want to spend it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying not work. I couldn't think of anything worse than not working.
That's success.
It is.
Yeah, it really is.
And people are working to not work. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Why would you invest 45 years into something to not do it? It makes no sense. And even with money, get a grip. You don't need that much money. Like you don't. Like whether you've got 1 million or 100 million, your life's not going to change too much. You're not going to buy many other T-shirts. And sure, like how many holidays you want to go on a year? Like people have this thing that they're chasing this illusion of this thing that's going to set them free. Freedom's right now. Freedom's like sitting in a podcast in a factory, doing it together because we want to be here. No one makes us do it. I love waking up with no alarm clock. I don't know what it is. I just love it because I'm like, whether it's 3:45 like today or 6:45 like yesterday, it doesn't matter. I just see it as my energy tanks are full. I get excited over that. The ability to do that. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that is freedom. Freedom is not having an extra 5 million in the bank account and working at somewhere you don't want to work and hating your partner. Like that's not freedom at all. That's jail. Understand?
Yeah, and counting the years down until you can stop it.
Yeah, I retire at 65. It's like, that's great, but what does that actually mean? What, life starts or stops at 65? Tell me that. What is that? Like, why wouldn't you design, that's why time is, people are actually talking about time. People aren't talking about so much money and things. They're talking about freedom of choice in time because when you wake up, I love each day. Like, I train, I eat good, and I'm working on it. You know, I'm working on things, but it's like I'm enjoying the process more than ever. Like, how exciting is it? We're going to have a massive month this month.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. Tell me how inflation affects that.
Doesn't.
So I don't focus on any of those things. Nothing. I'm more focused on, are we enjoying working together? Are we loving it? I can see the stress in your face today, Jordan. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it because it's not worth it, Jordan.
I tell what I was going to say to you. Did you ever wonder when you were like Did you ever get caught up in like feeling like you're not far enough along?
Yeah, all
Like,
the time.
I think that all the time.
Yeah, but that's the biggest
Yeah.
mistake you can make.
I try and like bring my head back to enjoying the process, which I do, but like I feel like I need more all
Yeah,
the
you do.
time. Like that's what I think. Yeah.
It's like if you ever seen the game Hungry Hippo and you hit the thing like that and it's
Yeah.
going like this, you probably
Yeah.
don't. Do they even have games? Are you too young?
No,
like
no,
we used to have
I
games.
remember Hungry Hippo.
Yeah, that's what you're like. You're like. Remember, I always said to you, you're so focused on buying these investment properties, and I said to you for ages, buy a place that you just wake up every day and you love, like you love. Why would you provide all these other houses for people and live somewhere where you don't like, or you're just renting because you think it's the best wealth strategy in the world? Forget all that. Get a place that you just love, and like you just bought a house yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
And we did whatever it took to buy it. You know, you even paid a little bit over what it was worth, just a little bit. But you've got it now.
Yeah.
It is the best 1-bedroom unit in Terrigal, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon too.
It's
yeah.
got north facing,
Very
it's
exciting.
views, it's above the, it's amazing. You will wake up every day. That is the best decision you've made for the next 10 years.
And you really wrestled me into it. Too.
I made you buy it. I'm like, you're buying it. You are buying it, Jordan.
Yeah.
And then you're frigging around, and I don't know if I can afford it. I say, we're affording it. You're doing it. Because I know that just waking up there, it's a 1-bedroom unit. It's not a mansion on a hill, but it is a mansion, Jordan, because the joy that you will have in that place is going to be immeasurable. Immeasurable. Because you're going to walk down, have the coffee.
It's part of setting the zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the step now. So that's where I'm at. Like, what's the step? I get that excited about training. I get that excited about listing a beautiful house. Like we're showing one on the beach today at Meat Masters. I'm just doing life my way now, like really my way. You know, I've got, Tara, she's got some exciting things going on. We've got 31 minutes happening. I didn't need anything else. I don't wake up every day going, I need 50 more million. That's not going to, I don't need it. How many Vegemite sandwiches can you eat?
Did that change for you throughout your life?
Because I used to be like you.
Yeah.
I used to be like, oh, I just need this car and I need this and I need that. I haven't even washed my car for a year, I reckon.
Yeah, your car's
And
out
the
of
police
control.
were following me yesterday and we're driving along back from Coogee and I was like, there are 2 police in the highway patrol and I sort of like, I didn't pull out in front of them. They let me go in front of them and driving along and I was thinking, I wonder if they pull me over because my car's so dirty. It's that dirty. Like, but I just like it. It's like a rubbish tip inside. But I just feel like life is just moving along really well for me. Super well. All I'm sorry to waffle on a bit on this one, but it's so important. This is like one of the most important things. I'm really focused on vibrational climate inside. So how you feel inside, the attraction point that you have will determine everything else in your life. So why wouldn't you just focus on that? When you're feeling great, that's why I'm determined to get you back in the zone today, Jordan, because your day is going to be terrible today if I don't fix it for you, or help you fix it. But why wouldn't you wake up every day? That's my goal, every day to feel like that. So good. I got home at 8:30 last night from the gym, or maybe a bit after, Joe. I'm that excited about an ice bath because I just love sitting there. I'm like, now it's just a mental game for me. And then you do that, and then
You hated it last week.
I did, but I'm like, I'm just slowly growing bit by bit by bit by bit. That's so exciting for me. Not getting on a plane going first class to Italy. Who cares? I'd rather get in an ice bath, or I'd rather just see what I can do next. And the saunas, anyway, so much fun's already there. That's all you get. I think that's life purpose. Sorry, Jack, keep going.
It's all right.
That's a long answer.
Yeah, it was 9 minutes.
Sorry about that.
What's your predictions on the Australian real estate market in general over the next few years?
Go, Jordan.
No, you answer that.
I just think it's going to stay like this for a bit. Yeah.
That's short compared to the last one. Always love listening to you. How many times would you door knock a suburb before you don't have to?
We'll do real estate ones on the one in a couple of days. Yeah, we'll do a proper real estate one.
Okay. Do you meal prep or just buy meal prep?
What do you do?
Me? I'm very simple, but I'm not trying to get the world's best body. I just eat clean Monday to Saturday, and then on Sunday I just eat whatever I want.
Yeah.
It's just as simple
That's
as
good.
that.
Works for you.
Yeah.
You're looking the best I've ever seen you.
Yeah.
Apart from at the moment. No, but you are. Even yesterday, those shirts you got, they're great. Every
They are
young
good.
person with half trim physique should wear those shirts.
Yeah, they're good
They're
shirts.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we should do a post on that. I don't know where you got them from, but they're fantastic.
I'm from Theodore.
Theodore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Michael Coombs' new suit brand.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic shirts. I love them. Meal prep? Yes. So should we explain it?
Yeah.
What does it say? Do I meal prep?
Do you meal prep or just buy meal prep?
No. The housekeeper, she cooks every Tuesday for the week, like as in all the meal prep. Have fish and rice, steak and rice, chicken and rice, 2 big tubs of vegetables now. And what else do we have? You get Bondi. You're not allowed to touch those meals, Jackson.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Sue
but
still makes me 3 salmons.
Yeah,
a
3
week.
salmons, yeah. We're actually going to change that because I think you need that meal prep as well.
Yeah.
We were getting Bondi meal prep, but we're a bit over those now.
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, meal prep is a big thing in our house. And you don't have to think about it. You just get home. Tara doesn't cook. Tara doesn't do that much, actually. No, she doesn't cook. She doesn't like cooking. Actually, she made herself spaghetti bolognese last night. So she's the worst eater. I've never seen anyone eat so much rubbish in my life. Oh, she's getting a little bit better, isn't she?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit by bit.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Next one.
Advice for a young man that's feeling like he's running out of time. Sam in Alabama.
Running out of time?
Yeah. A young man who feels like he's running out of time.
What do you mean?
It's just what Sam from
No,
Alabama
you got plenty of time.
has asked. Yeah.
I was just thinking last night, I've got like 20 years of really going for it, I reckon. 50 now, 70. I don't know what happens after 70, but we'll just, year by year, we'll see how we go.
I think you'll still be a maniac.
Yeah, I hope so.
Dealing with aggressive people outside of work when you just want to smash them.
That's me and you, George. Jordan gets that angry at me when I give him advice and give him like, it's so angry. Sometimes he just like spits the dummy that hard and drives off in his car.
I haven't for a long time though.
Oh, I reckon you got a bit more control because like even on the weekend I said to you, after the weekend I said, mate, can you please get involved in the WhatsApp group on the weekends because you never like do anything on it. Like you just turn your thing off. And I'm like, is that annoying, this kid sometimes? But you held your emotional point. You were like, yep, okay. Yeah. I think you just keep me happy now. I go, yeah, okay. And then you just like get off the phone and go,
no, I don't. No, because in my head I was like, I was the CEO of my brother's wedding. I'm trying to orchestrate everything else. Like I've got, it's just.
No, even yesterday you didn't even write in there.
Yeah, I did.
Last night. No, you didn't. No,
I wrote bread in there.
I'm all over you, Jordan.
Let's get
I feel
that
like this
bread in there
podcast is a
morning.
bit of a counselling session more than a
Yeah, okay, keep going.
question. So how do you deal with aggressive people?
Oh,
Like when
how?
you just want to smash them.
Well, that's what I was saying before. You can't react. I tell you, probably my biggest issue is I just ignore people. That's probably my biggest one. Like one of my good friends really annoyed me the other day, and I haven't spoken to him. He's tried to call me a few times. I'm just like, no.
Really?
Yeah, that's probably my biggest thing because I just like no. And then it gets to a point where it goes all weird. And then you're like, oh, I've really gone too far now because you just won't talk to them. That's probably I'm a bit stubborn like that because I get really offended. Like I get offended to the point where I'm like, oh, don't worry about it then. And I'll just like cut off a bit. So that's the part I probably need to fix. I did have road rage quite bad, but because I just don't know why people beep. Why do they beep? Like I've done a few things when I was younger with road rage that I've just like I have a bit of.
Remember about 5 years ago, you got out at the lights?
Yeah, I do. I've got out many times. Like, many times, yeah.
Yeah, you got out of the lights in Coogee not too long ago with me. Some guy.
I'll tell you, I was backing out of the, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Just the other day, I was in the car, like, doing something, and there's this guy waiting in the car park. So there's a car park near the gym, but, like, there's a public one where you pay and another one along the street. And I was just sitting there, and I was just doing something just after we finished. And the guy was sitting there, and he beeps me. And I just trained. I was like, I don't know. I couldn't believe it. I got out of the car and I'm like, I have to stop myself like a bit. Like I got out of the car, walked up to his window and he puts the window up. I had a singlet on and I was like pretty pumped from the gym and I was like a bit angry though. I was so angry. I was like, what'd you friggin' bip for? He's like, oh, so are you going? Like, he put it up that high. I was like,
imagine how far his heart would have dropped into his
and I was
stomach
like,
when
mate, I'll
Dad
rip
got
you
out.
out of the car and smash him. And then I was like, oh, how embarrassing. I just better get in the car. So I have to stop myself.
Yeah, you got a real thing with the beeping.
I do. I hate the beeping.
Yeah, he yelled at me for beeping once. Some guy was some guy was walking on the middle of the main road, and I went, oh, and like just reaction, like beeped, and went, and he goes, what'd you do that for? And I'm like, oh, he's on the road. He goes, no, only Gronks beep, don't beep. I was like, ah. So now I get scared even if I'm by myself. I'm like,
yeah, no beeping. Anyway,
Just crash up the back of a car.
yeah. What was the incident that made you hit rock bottom and you manage after to turn your life around? They wrote that a bit funny.
yeah, I think it's like, it was more when I got out of court and then she gave me a second chance. That was sort of the rock bottom part. But I was pretty like in a bad way, just in life. I was sitting in church the day before, like thinking, oh, gee, tomorrow I've got to go to jail. I just knew I was going to jail for a while. And then I was like, and when she gave me that second chance, I was like, gee, I better do something with my life then. Yeah. Don't rub my foot.
Is that your foot?
Yeah.
Sorry. That's the same as like a near-death experience or
Yeah.
like having a health scare.
See,
Like you really assess your life again.
Yeah, but so I had a near-death experience, like a proper one, where I'd injected way too much coke. Sorry, Jackson, way too much coke, and I was in my mate's studio apartment. And when I walked out, it just had a bathroom with some bar doors. You know those two like, you know, I don't
Saloon
know,
doors.
Yeah,
like that. And I walked out, and I went, and all of the in my head went, and I was like, whoa. I've had way too much because I actually used a steroid syringe rather than a insulin syringe. Like they're about 50 times too big. And I was just like, I'd been out all weekend and then I flew back. Like I just went back and I was just convulsing so hard. I won't go through the whole thing, but I was looking at this hat on the wall and
You were just on the ground. On
I was convulsing so bad and smashing my head against the wall. And I was like, I'm going to smash my head open because I was just in a fit or whatever.
But it sounds like in your brain you sort of know what's going on
think,
a bit.
You can think. I've had 5 overdoses, but this one was the worst. Other ones I went to hospital, but I didn't. I was sort of okay. And then, but this one was the worst. And I was looking at the thing on the wall. So, like my mate was like a black guy, and he was like a big black thing popped up in the side of the room. I thought it was my mate Jesse. I was like, Jesse. I was like, call an ambulance, trying to say, call an ambulance, like I thought I was saying it. And there was this hat hanging on a hook on the wall. There was hardly anything there, just a bed and a TV, and that's it. And then I was just watching the hat, and I thought, I can't close my eyes. If I close my eyes, I'm going to die. I can feel it. And I was like, I could feel my body convulsing. Anyway, this thing come to take me away, whatever it was. Like I just went all black, and this thing come to take me away. And it was not a very good looking thing. I can still picture it perfectly today. It's like I don't know, like a pig with tusks or something. Coming in, I just fought it with everything I had in my mind. Everything I had. Like it was like growling, not so much talking. I was like this, and it came right up to me. This is like a very short version. And then I just went like this, and it turned around and went. Like people might be listening to this going, oh yeah, so that was hallucination. No, this wasn't at all. Like anyway, I came to, and the convulsion stopped, and like I was just like, whatever. And then I started crying, and then I got up and I just walked into the guy's apartment across I didn't know them, just walked into their apartment and sat on their shower floor. Like I didn't know the people at all. I just walked in my undies. And then, but you know how you're saying you have these things, but I didn't stop. Later I said to the people, oh, is there an ambulance outside? And I was like still shaking and stuff. And then, but that didn't stop me at all. Like I just kept partying, like not that day, I was in a bad way. But for years after that, but that was not bad enough for me to stop. But the court thing was like I knew it.
Do you think when you're younger, you're a bit more like think you're invincible? Like I had a friend of mine just had a really bad health scare, and he wrote a big thing on Facebook last night, and he's probably doesn't have the healthiest of habits, and he's 50, completely looks like it's completely changed him.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure. I
just
think you
from that.
value it more.
Yeah.
I think also where you come, so from that time, I got that shaken inside from what that happened. I couldn't sleep in the dark until I, maybe like 15 years later. Like it was that, whatever was coming to get me was not very good. And then But I think you value life more. Like now I'm like, oh, gut health. Like, whereas before I'd stick anything into me as long as it gave me some sort of high. But I had
But you had no purpose.
But I had no nothing. Like
Had
no
no
family.
purpose,
I had
yeah.
no nothing. I was just roaming around. I was sleeping anywhere. Like, yeah. So I think you value different things. Next question, Jack.
How did you transform your mindset to truly start to believe in yourself and success?
How did I transform my mindset? I think I just decided I really wanted something. I think. That's all. And I think also, like, it's a bit like you, George, because you don't need all these traumatic experiences to become something. Like, it would have been much easier if I didn't. It would have saved me a lot of time. That's why I say to you all the time, I reckon I can save you 10 years of hard work. And I think there's two ways to learn, by your own experience or the experience of others. And it's like, I think, and that's when I bang on about drinking and things like this, like we're making choices all day, every day, all these little choices. And where you're going to be in 5 years' time is really dependent on the choices that you make today. And I think a lot of people out there, they go this seesaw up and down. I did, seesaw up and down. Like you go good for a while, then you go off. Like you go party or you go whatever. So vibrationally or energetically, you're up and down all the time. And your life sort of reflects that. I think I just decided, like, you get this crack at life, and then if you make a whole lot of good choices every day, day after day after day, you'll be amazed at where you end up, because it's like the momentum that you get. It's not so much that, oh, I've made a good choice. It's like the momentum in that area, and you start to become, whether it's financial or whether it's work or whether it's health or all of them, and then you start to say, well, is it worth, having those 3 lines of cocaine on the weekend? And you start making all these other decisions because you don't want to wreck the momentum that you have. I get so many messages, we get so many messages from people that are saying, I've changed my life, I'm sober 9 months. That's the secret. Like staying on that path and the energy that you get, it's like a boat when it have that wake behind it. It's a bit like that, and then it's like pulling things along with it. And once you get really rolling, life becomes so much easier. And a lot of people, that's why when Jackson goes out and gets on it, I literally say, you're just dumb. Like, why would you do that? Like, because now he's like he's got at least a week. People say it takes like a few days to get over it. It doesn't really. Like, energetically, your electromagnetic force, I reckon, takes a couple of weeks to recalibrate properly. And then you've got to get momentum again. So that's another couple of weeks. So you're really like a month before you're really running. You know that feeling when you're just like running along and things are like pumping hard?
Yeah.
Like we're doing that now, and that doesn't have anything to do with the market, the climate. This is us, because we've got such momentum at the moment, and we had a very average month to begin with at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
And then we've all just been doing the right things, like let's pull tighter, let's pull harder. And now we're just about to have a huge month. And that's a whole lot of little choices. And we don't say, hey, we're going to have a huge month in March. We go, let's do all the right things now and stay on that track and really pull together hard. And then it just ends up somewhere phenomenal. That's really, I think, was it transforming your life, Jack? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's, I'm a bit non-compromising on that now. Even like eating rubbish, like I see it as, I've got to process that. I'm not going to feel great after it. So what's the point?
Yeah.
For 1 minute of like sort of taste.
Yeah.
I can't see the point anymore. Whereas, I'll have a chicken and rice, or it might sound boring, but people are looking for this fix. It's no different than drugs. It's the same. But people are looking for this fix, this beers. My really good mate, I was talking to him yesterday, and he just can't wait to get home and have beers after work. I said, mate, stop drinking. He's got stomach problems. I said, stop drinking. He's like, mate, I really look forward to it. But he looks forward to the hit. Whereas I look forward to the ice bath. Different. I'm not anyone special, but I've had all these challenges in life. Now I look back and go, is it really worth it? Like, what could I have done? Maybe I needed all those challenges to create a certain person now, because I feel like I've hit a moment in time where I'm like, yeah, my experience is a lot. I've like learned all these things. I'm steady as, but imagine I did that at your age. Like literally. Like, and you would become unstoppable. Like you would become the top 0.1% of the world if you had, see how valuable time is? Like I don't have 30 years like you do. Like you do. Like I've got 10 solid years to run, put the accelerator right down, see what I can do. And that's really the journey that I'm on now. What's possible? You know, that's what I want to see. But imagine knowing that at your age and having the support around you. I didn't. But maybe that's created who I am as well.
I think it has.
Yeah.
What's your goal weight, and when do you want to? Oh, and when you reach
120 kilos shredded.
what's the
what are
plan
you
once
now?
you get there?
117, but not shredded, sort of like half.
What's the plan once you get there?
Do a photo shoot. No, I don't know. Just make more content. I just like making content. So it's not really for anything. It's just to see what's possible. Yeah.
How do you know it's time to leave your marriage?
Oh, you can't answer that one, can you?
No.
Right. It's a very difficult question, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've had 2 marriages, married third time. And the funny thing is, I think each marriage has sort of probably taught me a bit more to stay steady. But I reckon, when's the right time to leave your marriage? Oh, I think it's more about wanting to hang with the person. I think.
It's too hard. There's too many different variables. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never been married, but I just get that feeling.
Well,
Do you reckon you just know?
Here's what I think. I'll just be really honest, as I always am. But you got to like the person. You have to like the person. Like I wouldn't work with you, Jordan, if I didn't like you. Why would I?
Yeah.
You know, if I don't like Jackson, I'll tell him. You know, I've kicked him out before, and we didn't talk for 2 years. But it was at a point where he's being disrespectful. I'm been probably not the best dad, and we parted ways because it just wasn't working. He's my son. And I think it comes back to that silent desperation thing. I really like that saying. And it's not just men walk around in silent desperation. I think people do. Like, why would you be in a marriage where you literally can't stand the other person? But it didn't start like that. So what's Jordan going to be like at 40? I don't know. You might turn into the biggest arrogant prick ever. You might. But why would I want to hang around you?
Yeah.
You know, so when you sign up for a marriage, from what I can see, like look at Tara. She's a lot younger than me. I'm older, I'm driven, I'm a little bit selfish with time because I'm like, I need to do this because it's going on inside of me. And I've been very upfront with her, and she knows that. You know, like I'm like, I want to achieve these goals. They're going to take this much work. It's important to me. It's like a dream. Like I don't want anyone standing in front of the dream. But on the other side, like I'm the best. I'll provide for her. I'll help her. I give her everything I can, and we do stuff together. I like hanging out with her. But I think when people change, it's very difficult. So like I'm always the same. Like even with my other divorces, my best mate Dino, who's been best man at 3 weddings, he said to each one, last divorce, Jackson's mum and Shelley, what did you expect? You know what he's like. Because I'm so drawn to do this, like build a business or whatever, and I give it 150%, but that's just my personality. But as time went on, they wanted me to be different. You know, I'm not looking at them going, hey, you're this, you're that. I'm actually looking at me because people like that. They're attracted to this driven part, but they hate living with it because it's like relentless. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So when expectations change of people, what are you supposed to do? Bend to make the other person happy. When you bend to make the other person happy, you're actually stepping out of what you really want to do. So I have a mate where his wife won't let him surf on the weekends. You know what all he wants to do?
Surf on the weekends.
Surf on the weekends. That's all he wants to do. And he hates it. Like he hates he can't, she's like, no, you're not allowed to. What does that mean? Why? Me, I go, Tara, if that's important to you, you go do that. You go do that. You got my full support. Do you know what I mean? And when you're in like that, if your marriage stayed like that, where you're like, I'm just so keen for you to do what enthuses you and we'll achieve goals together. If it's daylight, I don't think people would break up. Very rarely. But it's when they're like, you be home at 5 o'clock. You be home at 5 o'clock. I want you to be here. Or they have a baby and it's like, you've got to be a house dad now. You know, it's like, and the man's like, well, if it's the man and he's not wired like that, some men are. But if he's not wired like that, like I'm not, but I'll do a million other things in other ways, you know, like super protective of Tara's time and if she needs to go to the gym or do whatever else, you know, so I'm very like mindful that way, but I'll never be a house dad. I'll never sit around and just have barbecues and flip the sausages. Like, it's just not me.
Yeah.
But when you can communicate that and be authentically you, it's like even with you and me as a work relationship, I'm very mindful of what drives you, Jordan. Marketing, profile, branding, and I say, just do this along the way, little bits of this along the way. But I'm always mindful of what's like ringing your bells inside. Because if you're with someone who you feel you can be completely yourself and they're there going, you go do that because you're excited by it, I don't think people would break up. But as soon as I say to Jordan, I don't want you doing that.
Yeah, resentment starts.
Exactly.
Yep.
And resentment's like cancer. It's like rust, and it just goes everywhere. I've been there. And then you stop talking to each other, you stop being open with each other, you stop like cheering each other on, and you start hating the other person. What's going to happen? You're just going to
start moving apart.
You're just going to start moving apart.
Yeah.
So I think divorce, I don't know where Jackson's just run off to, but I think divorce, it's unnecessary, but people change and their expectation changes. If you stayed as you were in the beginning, like as in so keen on the other person, pumped to see the other person, open, because you know when you first start going out with each other and you're like telling each other everything and I'll ring Tara 30 times a day. Like I'll ring her 30 times a day and just, how you going? What are you doing? Anything I can do? Blah, 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 like that sort of thing. I'll just randomly get her flowers. I mean, we've been together like 6 years now. But I'm going to keep that alive right the way through because I know if I don't and I just ignore it and don't water it, what's going to happen? It'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Jackson had to go to the toilet.
You've got the questions?
So yeah. Where are you going, Jack? All right. Yeah, it's so loud. But yeah, I think so. The time to leave your marriage, if you feel that expectations have changed, it's not sort of fixable, you just don't like each other, like why stay there? That's what I think. And people say, oh, there's kids involved, I'll stay for the kids. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's, you're just going to die inside. But I'm no marriage counsellor. I'm only speaking from experience. But I think if you're really tuned into the other person and just go, let's do this life together, what's important to you is important to me and what's important to me is important to you, I think that's a recipe for success.
Can you talk more about blood work tests and why they're so important and what tests do you get?
I want Jordan to talk questions.
These are all very health specific.
Yeah, they are. Blood work. So I get my bloods done every couple of months, maybe every 3 months, roughly. And it's to see what the testosterone levels are like, what the iron levels are like, what the whatever else is on there, whole lot of things. And I give them, the GP looks at them and also Mick the pod man looks at them. And we're, like at the moment my iron is low, but that's other things. It's more like I've changed my diet, brought liver in, I bought, what else is there?
Do you eat it raw?
I hate liver. It's the worst. It's the worst. I bought.
What do you just cut a piece of liver and then boom?
I try to eat it so many times. I can't eat it. Like I eat
Is
it.
it the texture?
I've bought that snap freezed liver in a tub. It's still disgusting, but I just force myself to have that now.
Really?
It's the worst thing. I don't know about Liver King. Gee.
Yeah.
I don't know how he eats it raw and all that. But anyway, but yeah, blood work's really good to do. Like even with you, it's you don't have to be on testosterone or gear or anything to go get your blood work done, but it's like the dashboard in your car, just shows you what's going on. So, but on top of that, your microbiome test is important to do. Are you looking at me?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like you're a bit...
I'm just engaged in the conversation.
Yeah, so I would recommend getting your blood work done, your microbiome done, and your gene test done. and having all those three, because they're like the dashboard of life. So your gene test tells you what you were born with, your DNA, and how, like, for instance, when I met Mick the Podman, he said, I don't think you're methylating, I don't know how to describe it, but methylating B12 or this or that or whatever. And he looked at my gene test and he said, so it takes about a month to come back. He said, this, la, la. He goes, I told you. He goes, I could see it. And then he said, but on another one, he said, I bet you your tolerance for drugs is through the roof. He said, I bet you have the highest tolerance for drugs. And I said, I do. I used to take like 20 Rohypnols. Rohypnols, like people take a quarter and like literally pass out for 3 days. I used to take like 20 of them. I used to take like 50 to 100 ecstasy tablets on a Saturday. I used to take so much speed, it was ridiculous. And then I'd finish it off with like half an ounce of Coke or an ounce, whatever, depends on how many days later. That would kill most people. And he's like, yeah, I can see it in your genes, because that molecule, that whatever it is, I don't know what you call it, but that thing, you have such a high absorption rate, best I've ever seen. I'm like, oh, there you go. That's good. That's an achievement. It's like,
World's best drug taker.
no, yeah, but it's true. How does he know that looking at the gene test? Anyway, your microbiome is all your gut bacteria. You do that. It's like a poo test. You put some poo on a thing and then you send it off to a lab. Imagine doing that every day, looking at people's poo. And then your blood work. So if you got all those three done, you can literally see where you're up to and what's happening in your body. And I didn't know I was gluten intolerant. And I used to eat a lot of oats, heaps of oats. And but I get bloated. So I get around here, I was like quite bloated. And not that I'd really notice it, but since I stopped eating oats, then it's sort of gone. But I would eat oats every morning. But
What do you eat now?
Eggs and spinach and stuff. But there's, but isn't it funny? My gene test showed that I was gluten intolerant. I had no idea at all. So once you know all those three things, you can sort of start gauging where you're at. My microbiome test, which is all like your gut flora and gut health, has gone from like 70% to 92% now.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good because I eat the pods and eat the powder. Like I've literally changed my.
What's with the big slab of butter that goes on the pod?
Yeah, butter's amazing for you. Grass-fed butter is. I'm pretty sure it's for the lining of your stomach. You need it, and see all of these things. People just our diets.
When I see those photos, I think, is that like a pod sandwich with like half a kilo of butter?
See, I never used to do that until Mick said you need it with butter, and so like he's.
Does that taste nice?
Yeah.
Does it?
I don't really care what things taste like, apart from liver.
You just get it done.
I just get it done because it's like. I feel the best I've ever felt. Like at 50, I'm literally operating at the best level ever. Like humming hard. Yeah, but it takes work. It takes work, it takes commitment, it takes like, you got to really want to do it.
Experimenting.
It does.
Like trying to find like.
Yeah, it does. But that's why at your age, George, I'm surprised you don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you? And Jackson, like I keep saying to Jackson, start the pods, and he just doesn't. I don't know. It's because you're young and you don't care. But if knowing what I know now at your age, like imagine at 35 years old, you would be the healthiest, fittest, focused, whatever machine. Yeah, I would.
How can we
I know
spend?
you're not going to. I can tell by the nod.
Well,
he's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I'd like to get I used to get my bloods tested all the time from boxing because you just had to. And it was always fine back then.
Yeah.
I just feel healthy all the time.
Yeah, you do. I know. You feel healthy until you're not, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing how everything is linked together. So, like, you just don't get it out of foods these days. Like, you don't get what you need out of foods. So it's.
I do really like the gut health thing because I do like when people say it's your second brain. There's so much research behind that. It's very true.
Do you know most of the serotonin's in your gut, not in your? I used to think it was in your head. So when you take when you're pumped or you take like pills, I thought it drained out of your head. It's in your gut. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that there's a full ecosystem down there, but it's actually acid?
Yeah.
How does it live amongst the acid?
Well,
because isn't like I don't know, like your stomach is full of acid to help digest food.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, think about this, right? So let's say your diet is go to get a V in the morning, go have a couple of whatever convenient foods, like there's no nutrients in them almost, and then you go home and have 5 beers. Imagine what's going on in your gut. Like you got alcohol being poured in there. You got sugar. You got fats. You got V's. Like imagine it. So when you change that, you literally, I reckon it takes a week to feel better. Like amazing. It's that lady I saw at the Brekkie babe. She was at the gym yesterday. She said since she's been taking the pods only a few days, she's like literally hit another level. It's amazing, and it's all right there. But we put all this stuff in there and expect it to work well.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's just anyway.
Why'd you spend a bomb on the factory and don't use it now?
What was that?
Why'd you spend a bomb on the factory and don't use it now?
Well, you do.
Yeah, I love it. It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, you do. I use the sauna. I just like training at Titans with Mets now. Yeah.
there'll always be a place for this though. Like
Yeah,
you're
there
building a house,
Yeah.
like you'll put some of this in there.
Yeah.
There was a place for this the few years when we couldn't train.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
It's been a good place. Yeah. It's just that life sort of changed a bit.
Yeah.
When are you keeping the podcast to 31 minutes for consistency?
Well, we try to.
No,
You text me. Well, you text me all the time. I didn't know. Some people write and say it's not long enough, but I don't know. Obviously, he or she does.
We'll do it for an hour and 2 minutes, and it's 2 times 31 minutes.
What's your thoughts on vapes? Are they just as bad
Oh,
as
mate, they're the
cigarettes?
best. Love them. They're so good. Vapes. I can't stand the things. Those vapes are the worst. Tell me what you think, Jordan.
Well, I've tried it. I used to have asthma as a kid, so I can't do it. It hurts it does something to my lungs. But yeah, I've never been an inhale type of person with anything. I can't even go into steam rooms for very long. I start like going
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But vaping, I've had vapes problems with the kids. Jackson, Logan, they're all vaping, but it's just the worst. Yeah, why would you do that? Like it's like standing at a barbecue, inhaling all the smoke and going, "Oh, that's amazing." Like people are, but then they do it themselves, and they think because it tastes like watermelon, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like it's so bad. Vaping should be banned.
It is. It's like illegal, but every shop sells them.
Really? Yeah, right.
They're cracking down on it, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
When did you make your first million, and how long did it take from when you had $0?
a long time ago. And it took quite a few years to get there.
What's Jordan relationship situation, etc.? How does he manage
Is that from a girl?
being hungry? That doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, it does. It says, what's your relationship?
I have a partner.
Situation? Yeah.
We've been together for a few years.
Yeah.
She used to be in real estate, so I think she understands the grind. But like, there's challenges for sure. Like, I'm definitely grow very fast. Like in the sense that every year I'm at a whole nother level. So the person that you're with sort of got to like understand that. Like it is tricky, but if they understand it and sort of support you, then it all works itself out. But it's definitely harder as a younger person.
And
for
how
sure.
do you manage?
How
It
do
says on there, how do you manage that?
I'm lucky enough to be able to pretty much do like whatever I want around business and career and times and all that sort of thing. But like I am very Sunday focused on family. I try not to work. I spend my whole day is exactly the same procedure with my family and doing bits and pieces. But through the week, I'm just at work the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like having a partner at your age, or do you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like without a partner, it's very easy to get distracted. We talk about this all the time. Like you can, like when you've got a solid home where you're there, you've got the support, it's much easier to build a career, I think. Like it's when you're trying to build a career but also find a life partner, that's a distraction. Yeah.
Next question.
If you could give yourself at 21 one piece of advice, what would it be?
Like, don't stress so much. I think that it's there's all these clues out there. There's all these little clues that if you tap into them early enough, that's why law of attraction is so important. If you can manage your emotions, you will be that far ahead of the game. It's not funny. I think emotional control is literally the center of every success path.
How do I find my passion, always doing different things and can't stick to one path?
That's you. About 40,000 extracurricular activities. Well, that doesn't matter. You just got to try everything.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
think the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think something you'll click in, be like, boom, I can do this. And you don't need to like, it's like real estate. I didn't love it, but I was like, well, this is okay. I could do this.
Silly question, though. Do you take a day off working out, like a rest day? I feel bad when I miss now.
Yeah, no, I don't. Do you?
Yep.
You do?
Or I play golf on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But it's not like I don't go to the gym.
No. Yeah, no, I don't. I like just going to the gym.
I
every
take
day.
one day off a week and just like do a long walk or something.
Yeah.
Not everyone's like you.
You skip.
Pardon?
You skip while you're walking.
Skip, yeah.
Yeah.
Frolic. It's probably like one more now.
Yeah, one more, and then we're going to end on one thing.
What's the vision for 31 minutes?
Vision for there's
exciting.
lots of good things happening with 31 minutes. It's going to be like a fairly good platform that's coming out very soon, and we want to do activewear, and we want to do energy drinks, and we want to do pre-workout. That's
Events.
That's the ongoing thing for me. Pre-workout, yeah, events, sort of, yep. Well, events, but
Yeah.
don't know how they look at the moment. But yeah, we've got lots. I reckon in the next few weeks, you're going to see lots of things happening with 31 minutes. We're very keen to get it out there. It's taking a while, though. It's taking a long time. We've actually started working on this platform for it, but it's like probably about 3 months overdue now. But it's just, we want to get it right. Is that all the questions?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
so we'll do
like
a real estate one. But what about, here's something I want you to think about. So Esther Hicks said something the other day, really was like, boom. I was like, yeah, that's so true. Your vibrational climate inside is so you pull things into you. You don't go out and meet them. So you pull things into you. You don't go out and meet them. Like you don't go and the goal isn't out there. It's actually in here, and you pull it into you.
Yeah, like a magnet.
Yeah, but think about it. A lot of people gloss over this, I reckon. If you really understand what this is, it's like, and that's why I'm saying at your ages, imagine you knew this so well and you lived it. So every result that you want, every outcome that you want is already waiting there for you. But how do you get there? So like, what does that look like? And when you understand this, it's like, we talk about it's an law of attraction, but yes, you're attracting it to you, but isn't it funny? It's coming to you. You're not going out to it, because we talk about working hard. We talk about getting out there and smashing it. But when you're working really hard, if you're not in vibrational alignment with yourself, you won't find the result because you're not pulling it to you. You're pulling, like today, you're a bit scrunched mouth and like this, like not your usual self.
Yeah.
So your vibrational set point right now is off. You'll meet things, but there'll be stuff that, like, you'll be late for an appointment. You'll be the buyer won't be home.
Did I tell you yesterday? I tell you what it was. It just was. I put too many things in 2 days. Yesterday I get to an MO, and the owner drives straight out of the car park and smashes into my car, and then drives up the street. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
And I was trying so hard. I was like, it's just what it is. It's just what it is. But I'm like, my mind keeps going, what a pain. I have zero time to go and fix the back of a bloody car.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny?
It is.
I attracted it to me yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
And I've carried that over into today.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Here's an example for exactly that, right? So I want you to really think about it. Everyone listening to this, I want them to think about this. This is the key to all success in your life. And it doesn't matter when. So like one of our clients, we've had his property for sale for about 5 months. And he rings me morning and night, pretty much. And then we just couldn't sell it, kept falling over, like things are happening, like top guy, like I get on, he's like a friend as well. So it's like, we get on real well. We chat, I don't mind him chatting, like calling, whatever. Like we do it anyway, just as like a friend type of thing. But the other day he goes, let's just rent it. Like it's not selling, let's just rent the thing. I said, yeah, let's do that. Like it feels like we're just banging it to death, you know, and it's every time we get close, the people just like don't go through with it. Literally the next day, like he's like, yeah, let's forget it. Don't worry about it. Like pressure off, him and me and everything. And the next day, someone comes along and goes, yeah, I think I want to buy it. And he rings me yesterday, and I go, Pete, and we talk about all sorts of stuff, not just real estate. Like we talk about the world and friends and stuff, and so it's not just like what's happening with the house at all. And he goes in the arvo, he calls me and he goes, what happened with it? And I said, you know what, Pete, isn't it funny? We've been pushing so hard to get it done, and as soon as we decide to rent it, the lady comes along and whatever. And I said, let's just let it happen. He goes, you're right. Like, let's just let it flow. And he's gone, whatever's going to happen is just going to happen. So it's fine. So now the conversation is just around, like, we all want it done. Like I said to him, like, I want it done just as much as you do. But I'm not going to give it that anxious thought anymore.
It's exactly the same as what happened with View Street. I was
the same.
starting to have sleepless nights over that, and I called you and said, I'm dying. I have my fingers have calluses on it from trying to call people, and you said, eat ice cream, have a bath tonight, just stop thinking about that, just release the energy on it, just release it, just it'll sell when it sells. 2 days later, someone walks in and just pays list price.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
how?
This is the key, guys. This is what I'm saying to you. At your age,
That blew my mind.
Exactly.
Because I was so my energy, because they had bought somewhere. They were really depending on me to get them moving and price and this.
I could see the pressure killing you.
It was the only
crushing
thing
you.
on my mind for 3 months. That's all I've been thinking of.
Yeah.
I'm going to get this every day. I'm like, can I get it sold? Get it sold.
So
2 days after I
right.
release that energy. Anyway, sorry.
So there's a real balance here, right? Because you can't just sit on a lounge eating Doritos and going, I'm just not going to worry about anything, and then everything's got to fall in through the window and be there. You got to move towards it, but it's how you move towards it. So your first job every day is to set your vibrational climate inside, and what that means is you don't do it with determination. You're like, that's why affirmations are no good. I am worth $10 million. I am, like, that's rubbish. Don't do that. Don't do that, because it's sort of not true, and the energy around it is not true. Rather than, I'm just that excited about today. Who am I going to meet today? What's going to happen today? Can't wait. I've got my structure. I don't have too many appointments today. I feel like sensational because I've got 4 key appointments today, all 2 hours apart. I can't wait to get into today and just let it all happen. I'm that pumped. Is that better than saying, I've got $10 million? Of course it is. Feel the difference? So when you set your vibrational climate, you're attracting, so you're pulling it in to meet you. Whether it's today, tomorrow, the next day, doesn't matter. Don't worry about that side of it. And on top of that, don't think about how it's going to come, because you don't know the person you're going to meet. We have marketed that thing like you wouldn't believe, and we met a person we weren't even dealing with at all. Like, where do they come from? And people say, it's come out of the blue. No, it didn't come out of the blue. It come to meet you. So whatever that car hitting your car, Jordan, you could have parked anywhere on the street. She could have done anything this morning. She could have slept in for 5 more minutes and she wouldn't hit your car or whatever. You see the timing? It is a unit. The universe's timing is exactly linked to your vibrational climate, your mood, how that is. So if you can understand that, you'll never let yourself get into this type of mood again. Like, this podcast has been okay, but not your usual self. Like, bit average, because you've been like, I can see it. The stress is there. Whereas in the flow, it's like things come, whatever. We all get like that. Everyone gets like that. But now I'm not prepared to let myself, regardless of what happens. You can miss an opportunity. I say to myself, not for me. There's other ones that are coming, because I'm going to make sure it didn't match my vibrational climate. But when you're anxious and you're like, really want something to happen, really, really, really want something to happen, we all get like that. Of course we do. We want it to happen. But if you go down that point, it's very tense. So it's either going to happen in a really clunky way, or it's not going to happen. It'll just miss you completely. Whereas if you go, whatever, think about people's houses who sell well, who go so well. They're usually the ones that go, look, it'll just happen.
Yeah, they do everything they say.
Just do whatever.
Give you the keys and say, let me know when it sells.
Yeah, market it, do that, enjoy it, however long it takes. I know people have time pressures and stuff, but it's the ones that are just so enjoying the process and just knowing everything's being done. So if you make this your number one priority and then you go out and take hard work and you go out and just do life, however you want to do it, you've got to put some effort in. But if you do it with that foundation behind you, you will literally turbocharge your results, your life, everything about it. You want to become number one in your company, that's how you do it. You don't become number one just working 30 hours a day. Well, not 30 hours, but it's like 20 hours a day, hating life. You might get there, but you'll burn out. You'll be like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas when you tap into this, and it's in the morning, like get yourself sorted in the morning, whatever that's going to take, you protect that time like nothing else in the morning. And you set that tone for the day every day, and you eat really well, and you don't drink, and you control your thoughts, and you don't react, your emotional control, and you make sure your job is to emotionally manage you all the way along. It's just you. It's just you are your world. So why would you get so disappointed and filthy with somebody when it's just going to wreck the rest of your day or the next day? Like you had a crash yesterday and you still brought that energy in today. Can you see what I mean though? Like, why would you do that? It's just a bit of metal. It's just a car. Who cares? Ride a bike if you have to. I'll pick you up. But can you see you can either look at it and go, oh, or you can go, I'll just drive around with Matt, or Jackson's here, I'll drive around with Jackson, all that. Like there's always the next best thing. What's the next best thing? What's the next best thing? And don't let yourself go down this path of it could have been this, it should have been this, I should have done that. The reality is it wasn't. It was just that moment in time, everything that matched you came to you. Everything. Good, bad, indifferent, the whole lot. And let that thing go out of your world as quickly as you can and don't react to it. So your emotions are literally like the steering wheel of life for yourself. Imagine you were in excitement every day. Imagine. Every day, regardless of what happened. I didn't get that. That thing didn't work out. I'm so pumped about it because that just means I'm freer to do something else. Imagine what would happen. Your life will be nothing short of outstanding. All because, and we're born with this emotional control. We're all emotions, to be able to read emotion. Think about it. What is anger? What is anger?
A feeling.
But what is it?
It's a feeling.
Yeah, it's a feeling, but why? And excitement, feel it right now. What does excitement feel like?
Feels great.
Feels great. What does boredom feel like?
Nothing.
What does anger feel like?
Tense.
What does depression feel like?
Not sure.
What does fear feel like? Now, out of all that, did excitement when I said it feel better? Can you take yourself there?
Yep.
Why can't we stay there? If everything good matches that, and I'm not saying good, I'm saying outstanding. If everything outstanding matches that, why would we not choose to be there all the time? Does it matter if you got $100 or $100,000 or $100 million? With $100, can you still go buy some pods, or can you still go buy some chicken and rice, or can you still go buy some baby spinach? Can you?
Yep.
So can you live? So do you really need the 100 million? It's not going to change your life right now, but you can control your emotions at that point and say, I've got enough to just do what I need to do. Can you see how by following excitement is literally the path lighting up for you, and it's taking you somewhere amazing? Imagine where you'd be in a year's time or 3 years' time if your job was just to follow excitement. Wake up every day, control your emotions, don't react, follow excitement, do what you want to do, be authentically you, communicate with your partner. If you don't like him, get out of there, do whatever. But just keep moving in this direction that's like, what's next, and how amazing is this life? I get to 50 and go, okay, let's find out what's possible. Imagine I knew that at 20. Imagine. All I was chasing was the drug hit until that age, and then I just worked, and then I was doing what you do. I'll be happy when I just want to get this, and then I'll be when I'm number one, when I'm this, and that's great. It taught me to strive and all that sort of stuff. But can't you do both? Why do you have to be anxiety filled and then think you feel better when you get the car or you get the this? And if you feel better anyway, the car is going to come and you have way less anxiety. I reckon I aged myself so much because I was just going to bed every day worrying about tomorrow all the time for 20 years. I'd just be that worried about, is that person going to listen to me? Is this going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. Whereas if I understood this, all I need to do is set the climate and then work real hard. But work real hard from a place of this is cool. This is so good. I'm on a path of massive success. It's going to come when it comes, but today I'm going to feel successful. Today I'm going to feel excited. Today I'm going to be so pumped and enjoy being around everybody. Imagine being like that. You'd have everything you want and more.